She is with DTE as regional manager, and she will introduce the two gentlemen that are here with us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to come out. I'm Madeline Williams, the Regional Relations Manager for Western Wayne County. And what I do is I work with the elected officials for 23 Western Wayne suburbs. I work with chamber groups, business leaders, again, to enhance DTE energy and to solve any issues that elected officials may have. Before I turn the program over to our AMI leaders, I wanted to just give you some information about what DTE is doing to increase reliability in the city of Taylor. Now, there's three sections: Century Drive and Pardee, Rayco and Century Drive, and North Line and Rayco. What we're doing is we're going to put some reclosures on those lines there, and also a fault indicator underground. I have a few pictures. And what that's going to do is break up the circuit so the outages will be less. There's been an issue with the Wayne County Community College. We're going to actually put them on we're going to remove them and put them on another circuit. So that will reduce future outages. Again, if you have issues relative to the company, please contact our 1-800-477-4747 number. Then if it doesn't get solved through the normal routine, please contact me as your liaison to DTE Energy, okay? At this time, I'd like to introduce the AMI project leaders, and we have the project director, who is Bob Sukakis, and also the presenter tonight, Joe McCormick. So if you have any questions, I'll leave my card with the chair, and again, we thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, you should all have a copy of this color presentation that I sat in front of you, and I will go through this. I stepped through it pretty quickly. I'll also give you a lot of statistics, so as I do those, just, if you want to ask a question as I go through, just stop me and ask me, and I'll try to answer those questions. If you go to slide number 2, slide number 2 gives you kind of a why are we doing this perspective, okay? I think the second bullet is the most important one on that slide. And that is we're going through the entire service territory. We're going to replace all 2.6 million electric meters with the AMI meters. Now what I've done is I brought an AMI meter with me, and I also brought the old meter, we call these analog meters that we're replacing. And if you lift up, you can see the difference in the technology a little bit, kind of, at least in the weight. Also, we're replacing gas modules, and I don't believe we have. You guys are Michigan territory in Taylor, are you? Are you? So we're doing the gas modules as well. Okay. We are installing in Taylor, and again, statistically, we're less than 25% done. So we're just working our way through meter reading stations right now. So some of you may have already received the meter. Other geographical areas around here that we've already completed. We completed Grozeel. We did that about 2009, 2008. We completed Oakland County. We're currently wrapping up in Washtenaw County, Monroe counties, and Wayne. So we've been actively installing, and we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.5 million put in so far in all of the areas. They're being installed around the United States, the same technology, not this same meter, but the same technology is being installed around the United States. And as the last time we looked at it, they had 36 million have been installed. And they estimate that there'll be 65 million in by 2015. So it's a technology that's working its way around the world right now. If you look at slide number 3, in a nutshell, slide number 3 will tell you that half of the states in the country have got 50% of their meters installed. Okay, the other half are working their way toward 50%, but half of them are at 50%. And this is by 2015, this will be completed. So this is a really cool slide, but it kind of shows you that it's evolving around the country. That's slide number 3. Slide number 4 shows our install plans. And our service territory is primarily in the thumb area. So those of you familiar with us, we're in the blue, the orange, the green, the light green areas. So that's where we're installing the electric and the AMI and the gas modules. And outstate areas, and that's the yellow and the gold, they're installing an AMR technology, which is a drive-by, but that's for gas. So, again, this will take a number of years to do. You don't do this stuff all at once. But remember, every single one of these takes a visit to the home. So you've got to go to the home, and you've got to actually do some work at that home. So 2.6 million times, you've got to stop and do something. So
How long does it take to actually do the change out? What's the?
Well, it depends on the house. So if you've got a standard meter installed, what I have seen them do, it's less than 2 minutes. Every once in a while, because there's underground services, it takes a little bit more time because there's a couple of inspections that the installers do, so it takes longer than that. How long is a power out? I would say, at least in the ones that I've witnessed, under 2 minutes.
Basically, does it require you guys to access the house and shut the power off to change these out, or is there a way for you to kill it at the box?
They yank the meter, it shuts the power off. They put the new meter in, it shuts the power off. Now what they do is they identify themselves, talk to the homeowner in the event that there's sensitive equipment or computers or anything that you want to disconnect, or if you, in many cases, if you want them to wait till the next day, that's fine, they can do that as well.
Quick question on that, since we're there, if you're not able to get a hold of the homeowner and that happens and you blow their computer out, are you liable for that?
Yes.
Okay.
No comment.
The grin says it all, so, okay.
We try very hard. We
Okay.
knock on the doors and we try very hard. We send letters prior to that. So
Okay.
if there's at a time where if the guy's home, obviously we wait for him to answer.
Okay. Well, my concern is if, our residents are coming to us with those issues, we want to know that you guys are going to.
Well, it's just like any other time. I'll give you my analogy of the day. So if you've got a storm that rolls through the territory, you've got a sudden loss of power. It's the exact same thing. When you have a sudden turn on, it's the exact same thing. So we aren't raising the voltage. We aren't doing any of that stuff.
Right.
It's a simple shut off and turn on.
Is there a point of contact if people have questions or concerns regarding that you guys have available? Is there a telephone number and email that people have questions surrounding that?
What we've done in other cities is we have had them deal with the city leadership, if we would. Generally, they deal through Madeline, and Madeline deals through me. So I know in the city of Canton and Plymouth and those areas, that's worked very effectively. So if you don't mind, we should do that.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of information on the DTE.com website about the smart meters, the AMI meters.
Okay.
So, page 5, we talk a little bit about the quality and reliability of energy delivery. And there's 6 bullets on here. It maps and detects and verifies outages. It helps us restore, prioritize restoration. It identifies if the problem is before or after the meter, which seems to be sometimes a common thing with folks. It saves us from having to come out into the field or a customer waiting. We can actually deal with their electrician if they have to. We can verify restoration. As a matter of fact, the crews can verify restoration from the truck before they leave. So if you've got an entire circuit that's out, rather than have the guys put the circuit back in play and then find out that there's a house in the middle of that circuit that's not, back on service, they can do that all from the truck. So they can then go right to that house and deal with that house. Also, you've got these meters have a disconnect and a reconnect switch in them. And what we've done as far as, obviously, if a guy doesn't pay his bill like the cable company, that's for that. But police and fire calls also is very effective. And I think we've used it on more than 10 occasions where we've had barricaded gunmen, where the police called and said, please cut the power to this house. We've got a barricaded gunman. We want to take care of that. We've done that. We had a couple of situations where people's basements were filling up with water. And they said, would you please cut the power before the water gets over my fuse panel, and we've done that. We've had, right at the moment, if there happens to be a house fire, one of the things the firemen do is they call our number and we dispatch a crew out to cut the power. We can do it remotely, so the firemen can actually start doing their work. Now, we still dispatch a fire crew still comes out, but we take care of business quite a bit faster by doing it that way. So it has quite a bit of functionality, and that's